Today I fucked up playing porn for my family through the Echo on Christmas morning. Writing this from the bathroom as I just realized what happened. Home for the holidays. My family got an Amazon Alexa a couple of years ago, and my parents never quite figured out how to actually make it work. It used to be set up under my account, but when I moved out last year I transferred everything to my mom. It's in the kitchen, and she mostly uses it for timers while cooking. Our family likes offbeat Christmas music, and I spent a while some time back curating it all onto a special Spotify playlist for us. We like to listen to it as we have brunch and open presents on Christmas morning. Here's where the FU starts. Yesterday I wanted to play a new song I heard for my mom. I couldn't get the Echo to find it, so I had to connect my phone via Bluetooth. The family all got new phones a month ago, so there were no devices automatically connected. I paired my phone and played the song. This morning, before a long day of family, small talk, presents and whatnot, I was mentally preparing myself for the day in my childhood bed. You know, relieving some stress. With videos. Oddly enough, none of the videos I stumbled upon had sound. I wrote it off as shoddy sources and finished the deed. When I came downstairs to say good morning and Merry Christmas to the family, my sister greets me with "You need to play the playlist from your phone. I can't get the Echo to connect to my phone." Okay, no problem, I'll connect my phone. I was trying to connect mine, and I think yours is already connected. Not sure what my family heard playing over the Echo this morning, but it wasn't my usual Christmas playlist. Too long didn't read, paired my new phone to my family's Echo yesterday. Went to tug one out this morning in my childhood bed, and I'm pretty sure that soundtrack blasted in the kitchen for my family. So sad? Alexa, play Backdoor Sluts number 9. Always make sure to turn off Bluetooth while fapping. Never know what you're connected to, lol. Similar-ish thing happened to me. Except it was the Bluetooth in my dad's car. This happened when I was still living at my parents'. For context, my bedroom is in the front of the house and is the closest one to the driveway. He works late hours, so he tends to come home at like 1 AM to 2 AM. I decided to relieve myself with some videos and all was well. All of a sudden, my audio cuts out and I'm thinking it's just a quiet video. So I crank up the volume and still nothing. After a couple minutes of trying to figure this out, I noticed there were lights on in the driveway coming through my window. It was my dad and my phone connected to his Bluetooth. What's worse is that when my phone is connected to his car it says, "Kit's iPhone" on it. Frick. Never forget? Edit. Wow, my first silver and it's about blasting porn in my dad's car. Merry Christmas everyone, haha. Ever notice how Bluetooth will never sync up when you are trying, but the second you want some privacy that bastard connects to every device in the world? Sounds like you gave them beat-off music instead of offbeat. You're the best big brother I could have ever asked for. Letter B in square, ratty sis. Today I fucked up by peeing all over my first kiss and immediately legging it. Not today, about 9 years ago. This story is one that still keeps me awake at night begging for death. Backstory: I was 15, just an awkward high schooler from the suburbs of Melbourne. I wasn't popular by any means, but I had a few good mates, and while none of us had a girlfriend, we were always full of bullshit stories about our sexual conquests. "Oh, she's from another school, you don't know her, it was on holiday, and then her friend joined in, etc." Between us we must have fucked half the female population of Australia before hitting 16. But in reality all of us probably would have killed each other if it meant a shot at ditching the V-plates. Anyway, as the school year's finishing up and everyone's gearing up for summer, there's talk about some of the popular kids heading out of town on a bit of a camping trip, out on this king of the jocks type's cousin's farm. Everyone wanted in. A big piss-up away from adults filled with the hottest girls from our year. Come on. If us boys could score an invite, we'd finally be able to prove to each other just how much game we had. I wasn't so naive as to actually bother asking for an invite. There was no chance of us getting a look in, we simply did not have that kind of status. But then, on the first day of the summer break, one of the guys hits me up with a text, "We're in, pack your shit." Fortunately for us, his much cooler sister from the year below ours had been immediately invited, and through the age-old art of sibling blackmail, he'd wrestled the details out of her. It wasn't an invite per se, but we knew where to go, and I doubt we rated high enough to even bother asking to leave. Due to the nature of the impending debauchery, we had absolutely no interest in our parents catching on to the vibe of the trip and decided to get ourselves there. An hour and a half on the train out of town, a bus ride and about a 30-minute walk later we arrive at the campsite. It wasn't really a farm, it was just this massive property that made money as a sort of backup scout camp most of the year, but the owner was letting us have it for the weekend while it was empty. We shouldn't have worried about not getting an invite, it seemed like half the year level had rocked up. Looking back, I honestly have no idea how a group of 14 to 16-year-olds got their hands on as much alcohol as they did, but this thing was stocked. We were on some Project X shit, a whole bunch of sex-crazy teenagers out in the sticks drinking themselves stupid. This was my first experience properly drinking, and despite my apparent long list of sexual conquests, my first time really hanging out with girls. The pissoning. One of the great things about binge drinking is how it tends to break down social barriers and make you realize that most people are actually pretty cool once they drop the act. One of the terrible things about binge drinking is how it tends to break down urinal barriers and make you realize that no matter how recently you took a piss, you're gonna be busting for another in no time. For example, late into the evening, I found myself sitting on a log, alone with a girl I'd never have had the balls to speak to before. A classic popular high school girl, way out of my league. But here we were, her downing vodka from the bottle, me sinking tinnies of sweet, sugary, girly cider. Things get a little blurry, but I remember getting increasingly closer and closer until we were making out. We were pretty awkwardly positioned on this log, and in an attempt to disguise my own overly excited log, I was sort of leaning forward with my arm tucked into my stomach. My elbow was pushing up hard against my bladder. I suddenly became aware of a desperate need to pee, but I wasn't gonna be a fucking idiot by ending this action to get up and go empty the tank. I needed to be stoic. I could pee when I'm dead. My unwelcome rock-hard guest was at this point making a pretty good go of trying to break free from my pants, and this girl could tell. To my teenage delight, rather than retracting in horror, she didn't seem to mind and decided to work with it. Unzip, pull free, spit in the hand. She knew what she was doing. But the unrelenting excitement that should have been my first hand job became sheer panic as I felt the floodgates reaching breaking point. Within milliseconds, the thought left my brain and traveled south. Before the words "oh shit stop" could leave my mouth, I became a human super soaker, releasing a veritable Niagara Falls, skyward into the small space between us. By the time she'd pulled away in drunken horror, my liquid fury was all over both of us. Her face was contorted into a mixture of confusion and rage, and before either one of us says anything, I'm on my feet running for the hills, attempting to tuck my still flowing hose away. She's yelling after me, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" As people look over at the chaos. After hiding away in my tent for a short time, King of the Jocks less than politely told me that it was time for me to leave and to take my guys with me. They were not impressed. I called my dad to come and pick us up at 2 in the morning. He was not impressed. As for the girl, the reputation that followed me around school for the following 3 years makes me think that she was, in fact, not impressed. TL, Doctor, things were getting a little wild post my first make-out sesh with a hot girl, but after foolishly ignoring my bladder, liquid gold rained down on the both of us and I ran like the wind. Got myself and my mates kicked out of the party of the year, and had my dad drive an hour and a half out at 2 AM to pick us up. Edit, thanks for my first ever, non-liquid, gold. Edit 2, to all those asking about my ability to take a piss while standing to attention, I don't know what to tell you. Is it a superpower? Am I broken? We may never know, but I can safely say that I don't partake often due to urine-related PTSD. Follow up, thanks for all the kind words, I'm glad this harrowing moment of adolescence made you laugh. I can't reply to all the comments, but to those asking what happened to the girl, I don't think we ever spoke again, but still saw each other in classes and stuff, just forever avoiding eye contact. As for my group of mates, It didn't take them too long to forgive me, and it eventually just became one of those stories that is brought up at every possible opportunity. I still get roasted for it. I swear I heard this one going along the rumor mill, given I was that age as well, and from Melbourne when that happened. Amazing. I went to a pretty big school and it made the rounds there. I wouldn't be surprised if my humiliation was dragged out into the greater Melbourne region. Look on the bright side, if it had happened today, it would be captured on video and all over internet. 4. Sure. Even without that, I still can't get over how bad the story is on so many levels. 1. Humiliated in front of hot girl. 2. Probably embarrassed her and made her hate him. 3. Was witnessed by all the cool kids, other girls, and circle of nerd buddies. 4. Got friends kicked out of party. 5. People probably thought the whole thing was intentional. 6. Piss off dad and make him drive all night for dumb reason. 7. Wait awkwardly an hour and a half for a ride before you can leave. 8. Still have to sit with all your pissed off friends and dad on the way back. 9. You ruined everybody's night. 10. Everyone remembers it for the rest of your life. This is pure gold. Pure liquid gold. Till in Australia they call them V-plates. When you first get your driver's license you have to put up probationary plates in your car window. I think that's where it came from. Lol, water sports must not be her thing. Today I fucked up by connecting to my housemate's Bluetooth speaker while she was having sex. This happened yesterday but I didn't really know how to explain it until now. It was my university's homecoming this weekend, so everybody was getting super drunk and just having a good time. During the day, my one housemate told me she was gonna be bringing someone home that night, which I was totally fine with. By the time she brought him over, I was in my bed trying to fall asleep. Her room is right beside mine, so I was already thinking that I would be able to hear them, but I just figured they would try to be quiet. Once they got to her room, I could hear the bed creaking a couple minutes after. Me being tired and wanting to drown out the noise, I decided I'll just put on my Bluetooth headphones so I can't hear them. Now usually my phone auto connects to my headphones, but this time was different. I saw that my phone had connected to something, but didn't bother checking that it was my headphones. I opened Instagram for a nice nightly browse, only to find out that the first video on my timeline wasn't playing audio. I thought my phone volume was low, so I turned it all the way up. I was genuinely confused but began to hear a faint noise through the wall. By the time I realized my headphones weren't playing audio, it was too late. The Monsters Incorporated theme started playing extremely loud from the other room. I promptly disconnected my phone and I hear a bang on my wall following a scream of Lego __. Is that you fucking with my speaker? I was speechless. I didn't say anything because I couldn't believe what had just happened. It turns out that earlier in the day, I had connected to her speaker to play music, and that's what my phone auto connected to. After the guy left her room, I tried to explain to her what happened, but she is convinced that I intentionally did it. They didn't even finish having sex because I killed the mood, and now she's extremely pissed off at me. Too long didn't read, accidentally connected to my housemate's Bluetooth speaker while she was having sex, and I watched a meme with the Monsters Incorporated theme in it. Edit, she isn't mad anymore, my other housemates brought it up last night and we all had a good laugh. Edit 2, broke it into paragraphs for an easier read. Edit 3, also to clarify, it was the ear rape version of the theme song. If only it was Toy Story's You've Got a Friend in Me instead. How could he leave after hearing the Monster Incorporated theme? My testosterone would increase tenfold. Same WTF, would pound harder. Should have played the I'm watching you, Wazowski. I'm always watching you soundbite. That sounds like a funny story to tell later, not a kill the mood angry one. Sorry she didn't feel that way, but thanks for the laugh. Luckily, I don't think she's that mad anymore. My other housemates brought it up tonight and we all laughed at it, including her. In college we had an apartment with 2 bedrooms for 3 guys. So every trimester we'd rotate who had the single bedroom and who had to share. Well, I was sharing and my roommate and I both brought women back. I was just making out with my girl while my friend was trying to get laid. Well, my girl tickled me and I giggled like a little girl. He said, "What the fuck was that?" And then stormed out. Sorry, man. I do not understand this at all.